The colorful adventures of Cleo the Chameleon. Deep in the heart of a lush, vibrant rainforest lived a young chameleon named Cleo. She was a curious little lizard with big, expressive eyes that swiveled independently, taking in the world around her. Cleo's most remarkable feature was her ability to change colors, blending in with her surroundings in the blink of an eye. Cleo loved her home in the rainforest. She spent her days climbing branches, catching insects with her long, sticky tongue, and playing hide and seek with her forest friends. Life was good, and Cleo never imagined living anywhere else. One day, as Cleo was basking in the warm sunlight on a large leaf, she overheard a conversation between two colorful parrots perched nearby. "Did you hear?" squawked one parrot. "The humans are expanding their city. They're going to cut down part of our forest." Cleo's heart sank. She couldn't imagine losing her beloved home. But as the days passed, the sound of rumbling machines grew louder, and trees began to fall. Cleo knew she had to leave. With a heavy heart, Cleo said goodbye to her forest friends and set off on a journey to find a new home. As she left the lush greenery behind, she found herself in a world very different from what she knew. First, Cleo arrived at a sun-baked desert. The hot sand burned her feet, and there were no leafy branches to climb. She tried to change her color to match the golden sand, but the heat made it difficult to concentrate. "Oh my," Cleo sighed. "This is nothing like my rainforest home. How will I ever adapt to this?" Just then, a friendly gecko named Gus scurried by. Noticing Cleo's distress, he stopped to chat. "You look a bit lost," friend Gus said with a smile. "What brings you to our desert?" Cleo explained her situation, and Gus nodded sympathetically. "Change can be scary," he said, "but it's also an opportunity to learn and grow. Watch how I move across the hot sand." Gus demonstrated how to quickly scamper from one shady spot to another. Cleo tried to mimic him, and soon she was navigating the desert with more ease. "Thank you, Gus," Cleo said gratefully. "I never thought I'd learn to move like that." Feeling a bit more confident, Cleo continued her journey. She soon found herself in a busy barnyard, full of noisy animals and strange structures. A wise old owl named Oliver noticed the confused chameleon and flew down to greet her. "Welcome to our farm," Oliver hooted. "You seem a long way from home." Cleo nodded, explaining her story once again. "Everything here is so different," she said. "There are no trees to climb, and I stand out so much." Oliver chuckled softly. "Ah, but your ability to change colors is a wonderful gift," he said. "Why don't you try blending in with some of the things around the farm?" Taking Oliver's advice, Cleo focused hard. She turned red, like the barn, then white like the fluffy sheep, and even striped like the tabby cat lounging in the sun. "Wow," Cleo exclaimed. "I never realized I could match so many different things." "You see," Oliver said wisely, "adaptability isn't just about changing your surroundings. It's also about changing your perspective and finding new ways to use your talents." Cleo thanked Oliver for his wisdom and continued on her way, feeling more confident in her abilities. As she journeyed on, Cleo encountered many new environments. She crossed babbling brooks, scaled rocky cliffs, and even ventured into a bustling human city. In each new place, she met kind animals who taught her something new. A fish showed her how to hold her breath underwater, allowing her to hide from predators in shallow streams. A mountain goat taught her to find footholds on steep rocks. In the city, a clever pigeon demonstrated how to navigate busy streets and find safe places to rest. With each new skill she learned, Cleo's confidence grew. She realized that while she missed her rainforest home, there was so much to discover and enjoy in the world beyond. Finally, Cleo arrived at the edge of a beautiful garden. It wasn't as wild as her rainforest, but it had plenty of plants, insects, and hiding spots. Best of all, it felt safe from human expansion. As Cleo explored her potential new home, she met a wise old tortoise named Terence. "Welcome, young chameleon," Terence said slowly. "I've watched many creatures come and go from this garden. What brings you here?" Cleo shared her story of leaving the rainforest and all the adventures she'd had along the way. Terence nodded approvingly. "You've learned the most valuable lesson of all," he said. "Life is full of changes, but with adaptability and an open mind, you can thrive anywhere." Cleo smiled, realizing the truth in Terence's words. She decided to make the garden her new home, but she approached it with a new attitude. Instead of trying to make it exactly like her old home, she embraced its unique features. She used her color-changing abilities in new ways, blending in with colorful flowers to surprise her insect prey. She applied the climbing techniques she'd learned on the rocky cliffs to scale the garden walls. And she used the patience she'd learned from crossing busy city streets to wait for the perfect moment to catch her food. As days turned into weeks, Cleo made new friends in the garden. She taught them some of the skills she'd learned on her journey, and in return, they showed her the secrets of their garden home. One day, as Cleo was chatting with a butterfly, she realized something important. "You know," she said, "I used to think adapting meant changing who I was to fit in. But now I understand it's about using who I am to thrive in new situations." The butterfly fluttered its wings in agreement. "That's right, Cleo. And look how much you've grown." Cleo looked around at her new home, filled with gratitude for her journey and excitement for the future. She had not only found a new place to live, but had also discovered a strength within herself she never knew existed. From that day on, Cleo approached every new challenge with confidence and curiosity. She knew that no matter what changes came her way, she had the power to adapt, learn, and grow. And so, Cleo the Chameleon lived happily in her garden home, always ready for the next adventure and the new lessons it would bring. The end.